So, COVID, as we know, is a success story, not. They basically where we stand in the U.S. is very depressing. We have gotten a prediction from the CDC that by the time that Trump leaves office, January 20th, they're expecting 400,000 dead. Let that sink in. 400,000 dead by the time that Trump leaves office, and that's not a minute too soon for me. They've during this administration they've opposed. They've put people like Dr. Atlas at the forefront of policies regarding COVID, and he's been supporting the approach for natural herd immunity. Just let everything go and have natural immunity kick in. That is finally Sweden has been adopting this method from the beginning. Now they've openly admitted it was a tragic disaster with tens of thousands more dead in Sweden than surrounding countries. So that's been proven a total idiocy, and that is something that we've been pushing as in the states. So it's no wonder that we are where we are. We have 4% of world population. U.S. is roughly 4% of the world population, but in terms of cases and fatalities, we're 20%. So roughly uh, four to four and something times more than the average nation around the world. We're the richest country in the world. So there's just simply no excuse for that. Um, but by far, our immunization program has not gone the way it was supposed to. It has been pretty depressing to see that they set a goal of 20 million. That was first, they were talking about 100 million doses by the end of the year. Then they were talking about 80 million doses, then 50 million doses. Eventually, by by the end of December, they said it would be 20 million doses. And they didn't even they covered 2.5 million vaccines so far. So fallen short, significantly behind. Compare that to countries like China and other countries that have rolled out immunization in a far more aggressive way. It's just a shame. We're now number one in world leading the world with COVID. Behind us are Brazil and Russia at the moment. And out of and it's not just the company's distribution here. It's like 12.4 million doses were sent to states. Out of those states, they were not given any budget. They weren't given any plans. They were left. They were just dumped on and let deal with the vaccination distribution mechanism on their own. That is a complete abdication of responsibility by the administration. Now these states that are already struggling and trying to figure out what to do with all the other things like opening businesses and so forth have to also figure out how to disseminate those vaccines. So that's totally the wrong thing to do, and we know also from the transition team that the administration is holding everything secretive. They do not share a lot of the information on the planning and the implementation, which is going to set us even further back. And I can only imagine that is because of personal vendetta on Trump's part. I do not see any reason why they wouldn't share information with the transition team that has to keep rolling with implementation of vaccines. So we're in a very desperate state with COVID, not suitable for a country like the US.
Well, I gotta say, in Germany, it's not much better. We also are in the middle of the second wave, and sorry,
Oh,
it turned out that Germany was a little bit too cautious to buy enough corona and anti-coronavirus doses. And well, if we are going on in this tempo, we will take about 9 years that everyone gets a vaccine. But you know, the Germans were working on it.
and yeah, and there's another issue that we haven't discussed, and that is that there is fear in the American public because of politicization of vaccines. So we have all
Yes,
these
yes,
conspiracy
yes. We
theories and stuff that people think that the vaccine is meant to harm people, and so there is a huge amount of people that are not planning to take the vaccine. And which, if that's the case, if that really happens, we're not going to reach herd immunity, and this virus is going to roll on and continue mutating, and we're not going to be able to uproot it.
Fortunately, the number of COVIDiots is compared to the American situation smaller and also per percent. But we have them also, you know, and
Call them
but I think the
covidiots.
farmer. I'm
Covidiots?
sorry,
Covidiots?
COVID COVIDiots. Yeah, I call them COVIDiots, or we call them COVIDiots. Um, but I think the far majority knows the importance, you know, to get vaccinated, you know, to get things halfway running again. And well, and we don't have to fear this discussion at the moment, at least, because enough are willing, and for the others, well, it's their own decision, and I think the herd immunity at this point will cover them also. We will see.
We have some time, but eventually they have to address the educational aspect as well. Make it transparent, have doctors talk to their patients. This has to be a concerted effort because it affects everyone else, not just the
Yeah,
people who decide not to take the vaccine.
absolutely. Yeah.